All right, well, I figured I had to make a follow-up video to my original Jake Fromm video. I made one last week saying, hey, I was actually kind of impressed with what he did. It was garbage time. It, was a low degree of difficulty kind of stuff, but I thought he looked solid there. And I was looking forward to seeing him get another chance and maybe an actual chance this time to prove himself and see what he can do in an NFL game. It did not go well. He eventually got benched for Mike Glennon. This was not a great performance from Jake Fromm, to put it lightly. Let's look at some of the numbers, because the numbers are not great. So box score stats, he was 6 for 17, so a completion percentage of just 35%. No touchdowns, 1 interception, making his passer rating a whopping 19.5%. Okay, not great, but those are box score stats. What about the other stuff? The EPA per play is shockingly low. I don't know if I've seen an EPA per play this low. So his total EPA per play was negative 15.2. His EPA per play was 0.69. That's incredibly low. He's costing his team basically 0.7 points for every snap he's taking, every time he's throwing the ball. That's the way to view it. The current lowest in football, and this is it takes a couple weeks to update, but so far the current lowest in football as of a few weeks ago was Zach Wilson at 0.136. So we're talking, a half a point difference per play between from what he did in this past week versus literally the worst quarterback in football. Absolutely bonkers. And even the PFF grade, also not great. The total rating is currently 34.2. Those are some tough numbers. There's no getting around that. Bad numbers. But hey, we don't just look at numbers on this channel. We like to look at film. So let's show the film. And quite frankly, the film does sort of back up what I'm saying. Maybe I should be very clear for a second. I don't want to pick on Jake Fromm too much. Like, I get it, not everyone's going to have a great game, and when you're someone like Jake Fromm, you just don't get the ability to have bad games. Typically, if you have a couple good games and a couple bad games, people will move on from you just because you didn't have that college pedigree. But at the same time, if I'm going to prop you up when you do well, I should also talk about when you do poorly. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's start things off with this play. This play immediately makes me think, okay, like, it's over. Stick a fork in Jake Fromm, he's done. Because what's going to happen is it's cover 3 zone, and you have a route that's just going to get underneath the coverage. It's pretty simple. Watch how when Fromm takes the snap, you're going to see that this is open. Also, I apologize. I know it's a little choppy there. That's just, when I recorded it, that's how it came out, when I screen recorded. So doing what I can here, but that's, how that is. Apologize. But anyways, you see that there's an opening right here. This is the throw that you really have to make, and especially if you're Jake Fromm, you have to make. Fromm does miss it. Maybe he was expecting his receiver to continue running in. I don't know, but it looked like it was just a missed throw. And the reality is, the selling point for Jake Fromm, and what I talked about last week when I was actually kind of impressed with how he played, was he's the kind of guy who's going to get the simple stuff. He's going to make the easy throws. The tough throws, he's probably not going to make. Doesn't have a cannon of an arm, isn't going to be able to get these explosive things too consistently, but at least he can run an offense. But if you're missing this stuff, what do you really have? What's the value there? Like, this one's going to be another one where it's a very simple play. This is just going to be a wide receiver screen. And some people might say, well, Jackson, aren't you being hypocritical? Someone like Zach Wilson has also had these mistakes, and he's, you're still very high on him. And I still do at least love Zach Wilson's potential. The difference between these two things is that for Zach Wilson, the idea is you piece together all this little stuff, and then he's such a great athlete and is capable of so much greatness that if you can get the simpler stuff down, he can be a great quarterback. For Fromm, he just doesn't have that upside. So if you're not getting this little stuff down, the upside for him is, still not that great. Look, he's going to just miss this throw. I mean, like, you can't do that. That's just not what you can do. You have to make sure that you hit that throw there. Again, if you're Jake Fromm, Josh Allen misses these throws, it's okay, because then he'll scramble outside the pocket and throw the ball 50 yards for a touchdown. Like, Fromm doesn't have that ability. Like this one's another one where, again, it's a similar idea. It's zone coverage. It's a simple zone buster to beat this type of coverage. And this one maybe not as egregious as the other two, but still you see Fromm take the snap. He is going to throw this one, and he just, underthrows it a bit. Maybe could have been caught by Kadarius Toney there. Maybe not. I don't know. I think you could argue it could have been caught by him, and you could have gotten the first down. But is it a missed throw as well? Absolutely. And again, this is just it goes back to the whole point of, if the selling point is he is someone who can run an offense, then you have to be able to run an offense, and he didn't do that at all in this Eagles game. He was really bad at it. If we want to talk about the interception, we can talk about the interception. I didn't think this one was as egregious. It's kind of weird. This isn't the worst play in the world. It is what it is. It's a good concept, a good route to beat this type of coverage. There's only a single safety deep, and route running over the middle against man. It's something that absolutely can work. So I don't hate this route at all, really. And as you see from right here, I think just the contact is going to cause him to, airmail this throw. It was kind of open, and I don't think this was a miscommunication at all. I think this was just the contact caused the ball to go way further than he initially intended. So it's an interception. It's not great. Maybe you could argue, hey, you got to be aware of the pocket. You got to be aware that contact could happen, so this stuff doesn't. But I don't know. This isn't a big deal. I wanted to show it just because, the stat line, that's, a key part of it. I didn't think this was that bad. Although this next play was absolutely that bad. It might not look that way on the stat sheet, but this was not good. It's going to be quarters coverage, and you have a go route against this type of coverage. It's a shot you can take if you want to, depending on how close the safety plays to the sideline. It could end up being a one-on-one opportunity. It's a tough throw, though. You're going to have to make a great throw to get this to work, and that is just not what Fromm is going to do. Watch how when Fromm takes the snap, he runs a play action, and you can see how this could work, right? Where would you say you should put this ball if you want to get completion here? Probably in the end zone, right? Probably lob one up in the end zone and let your receiver try and win it that way. That is not what Fromm is going to do. Again, look at this throw. There was contact. So was it just the contact? Was that the issue? Maybe. Possibly, in fact, probably, but it's still you got to be able to sometimes get rid of the ball quicker then. You didn't have to wait that long to get rid of the ball. The offensive line wasn't great. That's an issue. So maybe I'm being too hard on him, but still, that should have been intercepted and wasn't. So if anything, Fromm was probably lucky in this game. It just wasn't a great performance from Fromm, which again, it's unfortunate for sure, but at the same time, want to be a little bit better than this. You do. So yeah, listen, not the best day from Jake Fromm. There's no getting around it, really. If you like Jake Fromm, I think you can still like Jake Fromm. You can say, hey, he had one bad day. Let's not, sell him down the river just yet. We give, these other quarterbacks so much patience. Why not give someone like Fromm's patience? And you only have 2 games left in the season. Daniel Jones isn't coming back. Maybe see what you have in him. I don't hate any of that. I think all of that makes total sense. I totally understand the logic behind it. Although, the flip side, of course, is that, well, if I had to make a decision right now, would I want Jake Fromm even as a backup on my football team? Probably not. But that's just it. And luckily for the Giants, you don't have to make that decision now. You have a couple of weeks. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.